Hey, I had someone ask me the other day, why sourdough? Why have I gotten into sourdough? I actually really like to make a lot of food. I actually got a bread cooking book in 2015 for Christmas, and I made a different bread every snow day we had, which was a lot that year. We had 8 snow days that year. But just recently got into sourdough about a year and a half ago, and someone was just asking me, like, well, why did you get into sourdough? Like, why not some other breads? And there's lots of good reasons. So I'm gonna make some sourdough, and I'm actually gonna use this video on my homemaking guide that I am in the process of putting together as a free resource for you guys. So I'm gonna make a sourdough, show you how to do it, and just kind of talk about why we got into sourdough and why we love it so much as a family. So first thing here is that I have put the sourdough starter in this bowl. I'm gonna let this sit all night, but I add some ingredients in, and in the morning I will make bread. So this is like the first half of it. So I've tried to measure out some things. So that's 250 grams. Really important that you get a scale. I got this scale off of like Amazon. It was pretty cheap, like $10 to $20, because measuring things in cups versus the grams makes a big difference. So now I'm gonna add the water. I'm gonna kind of just stir it in until it's milky and just kind of talk about why sourdough. So my husband loves sourdough, so I had been buying it at the store and get it at Aldi. And so finally, it's kind of like a really trendy thing right now, right? Like everybody's making sourdough. You're like, what the heck, Juan? It's just Katie. Like everybody's making sourdough. Why is this such a trendy thing? So my husband loved it. I saw a bunch of people making it. So I was like, why don't I just try this? Like, why not? I mean, I like to make bread. I might as well try it. It seemed a little intimidating to me at first. Like you have to do something with it every day and like blah, blah, blah. But that was kind of the first thing. Another thing for me is my whole like crunchy journey, which everybody has a different reason they do it. My reason is more just like a family history of cancer and just trying to reduce carcinogens in our products, in our cleaners, in our food, being really just shocked how they're everywhere, and being like, what the heck? Why do I have carcinogens in my bread? So if you didn't know, bromate is a carcinogen, and it is in a lot of breads. I'm not sure if it's a preservative or what. I don't even know why they have to have it in there. But literally this bread that I'm making right here is water, flour, and I'm gonna add some salt, okay? So the difference, I mean, the list of what's in regular bread, measure out 1,000 grams of flour while I talk, is just astounding. I mean, the list is so long of bread you get in the store of what is in it. So it's just crazy. Like, why would I put all that extra stuff in it when I could just make it at home? And if you get really good at it, it tastes better, right? It's fresh. My family loves it. So I have been making basically all our bread products almost for a year now. It was kind of a rough journey at the beginning because I didn't know you had to have filtered water. I guess I was in denial about how bad our water was. Changed the game when I started using filtered water to make our sourdough. So now it's a taste thing. We love the way it tastes. Plus I know that it's good for us. But sourdough in general has a lot of good properties to it. So some people say it's like a prebiotic, has really good, because it's fermented, right? Essentially it is like a yeast fermenting on your counter. It has really good like prebiotic, sorry, I said that wrong, not probiotic, prebiotic properties to it. So that's a bonus if you know anything about like gut health. Gut health is super important for all your other health. I'm missing a spoon here. So kind of those are just kind of like killing multiple birds with one stone was kind of like how I got started with it. But now that I do it, I'm like obsessed with it. Sourdough is one of those things that's like, once you start, you like can't stop. You basically can turn any recipe sourdough that you want. So I had like a coffee cake recipe from Betty Crocker, and I just substituted and made that a sourdough one. So you're getting some of those good properties in basically anything you make that's bread. My 4-year-old asks me often if I can make basically sourdough anything. She's like, could we have some sourdough cheese? And I'm like, you can make a lot of sourdough things, but not sourdough cheese. Okay, she doesn't quite get there, but yeah, so many things. Sourdough pretzels, sourdough pie crust, sourdough cookies we've been eating today that are just delicious. Obviously it's still a cookie, but you know, it makes you feel better that it has sourdough in it. So many sourdough things. You can do sandwich breads with it. Literally the sky is the limit. And it's just, honestly, it's just a really like fulfilling and fun thing to know that you're doing, and then to know that it has health properties on top of that is just really good. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys real quick I put my starter in, my water, and my flour. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna cover it for 1 hour. Then I'm gonna salt it, 25 grams of salt, and let it sit all night. Wake up in the morning and cook it. So I'll probably do another live then to show the second half of the process. So also I gotta feed my starter here. This is what I took it from. It's kind of runny. I need to feed it. I got this from King Arthur, which, by the way, this flour that I'm using here is King Arthur flour. It's really important. The bromate is usually in the flour, so it's really important that you get a flour that doesn't have bromate. So King Arthur is like a really good quality flour that you can get. I'm sure there's other things you can go for, but that's the one that I always use. You can get organic, you can get all that stuff. So there you go. That's why we chose sourdough. That's why I think, honestly, 2020 made it such a popular thing right now, is people are just trying to be more sustainable, and this feels like a simple, you know, next step that you can do, especially if you're someone who maybe you don't have not a lot of land, but this is just like something you can do to kind of not be so attached to the system of like, I can make my own bread at home as long as I have flour, right? And I just have water here. So it's really fulfilling. I think that's why people really have gotten into it, but it's definitely a lost art that people are discovering. Is super fun. So if you're local to me, I'd love to give you a starter. I have all types of recipes I can share with you. So if you want my favorite sourdough recipes, just drop recipes here in the comments or send me a DM and I will send you over an email with all my favorite sourdough recipes. It's not necessarily important which sourdough bread recipe you get, as long as you really stick to it and are accurate with your measuring, which can be hard for me sometimes. So that's my best tips on first steps to sourdough. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk soon.